Ladies and gentlemen, when the world grows quiet, when the lights are dim, and the weight of the day rests heavy upon your shoulders, you are left alone with the one voice that shapes your destiny, your own. Before you surrender to the night, before you drift into the silence of sleep, you must speak to your mind as a master commands his servant. For your subconscious mind, faithful beyond measure, will take your final thoughts of the day and work on them in the dark, weaving them into the fabric of your reality. Say to yourself, with conviction, as though every word is a seed you are planting in the most fertile soil of your soul, I am the architect of my destiny. My thoughts are the blueprint, my faith is the foundation, and my actions are the bricks. I hold in my mind now only the vision of the life I demand, and I will see it made real. Breathe deeply, and declare that no defeat of this day has power over you. No setback can rob you of the riches your mind can conceive. Tell yourself, I am wealth, I am health, I am strength, I am purpose. I attract opportunities that align with my deepest desires. I am a magnet for success because I think, feel, and act as one who has already achieved it. When the day draws to its close and the world begins to fall into stillness, there is a sacred moment that belongs entirely to you. It is that quiet, unclaimed space between the final flicker of thought and the first touch of sleep, a moment most overlook, yet it holds the power to shape your tomorrows in ways you cannot yet comprehend. At this hour, your mind is no longer in the noise and rush of decision-making. It is shifting into the deep waters of the subconscious, a place where impressions sink in without resistance, where every word you speak to yourself becomes a seed planted in the most fertile soil imaginable. And just as a seed placed in rich earth will, without question, seek the light and grow, so will the ideas you place in your mind before sleep strive to become your reality. This is not mere philosophy, it is the science of thought, the unchanging law that the mind continues to work long after you have closed your eyes. While you sleep, your conscious mind rests, but your subconscious mind never slumbers. It labors tirelessly, weaving together images, ideas, and beliefs, and bringing into order the countless impressions gathered during the day. In this mysterious state, your mind is at its most receptive. The barriers of doubt and logic are lowered, and the thoughts you leave it with are accepted as commands, not suggestions. This is why the last words you speak to yourself at night are among the most important words you will ever speak. You must understand that the mind is an obedient servant. It will take whatever you give it, whether it be fear, worry, resentment, or faith, confidence, and ambition, and it will magnify it in your life. If you go to bed replaying failures, your mind will dwell on them and reinforce them. But if you retire each night with words of strength and visions of the life you demand, your mind will work relentlessly to bring them forth. The subconscious does not question whether your thoughts are possible. It simply accepts them as truth and begins to arrange your outer world to match your inner belief. Think of it as giving your mind a set of blueprints before you rest. If you hand it plans filled with broken walls, cracked foundations, and unfinished rooms, you cannot expect it to build a palace. But if you hand it a design of beauty, strength, and perfection, it will work through the night to begin laying the bricks of that dream in your reality. Every single night you have the opportunity to hand over the plans of your future, and the mind will not rest until it has found a way to begin building it. And so, this becomes a nightly ritual, a sacred appointment with yourself. It is the time to speak words that carry power, words that will echo through the chambers of your subconscious and direct the unseen currents of your life. Say them not as if you are begging for them to be true, but as though you are simply reminding yourself of a fact already established. Tell yourself that you are strong, capable, abundant, worthy, and destined for the life you envision. These are not empty declarations. They are the tools by which you instruct the mind to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your desires. Let your final moments before sleep be intentional. Lie still, breathe deeply, and allow the noise of the day to fade. In that calm, speak to your mind with quiet authority. Declare what you are and what you are becoming. Picture it as if it is happening now, because in the language of the subconscious, there is no future, only the eternal now. The more vivid and certain you are in these moments, the more forcefully your mind will accept and act upon your words. You may not notice change in a day or even a week, but just as a farmer trusts the seed will break the soil in time, you must trust that your nightly words are taking root. Each repetition strengthens the idea, making it more deeply embedded until it becomes a part of your nature. Then, without conscious effort, your decisions, habits, and responses begin to shift toward fulfilling the vision you have planted. Life seems to bring you the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances at just the right time, not by accident, but by design. Understand this. The last voice you hear before sleep will be the loudest voice in your life. If you allow it to be the voice of doubt, your days will reflect that doubt. If you allow it to be the voice of power, courage, and conviction, your days will rise to meet that standard. That is why it is not enough to simply end the day with quiet reflection. You must end it with deliberate, intentional thought. You must send your mind into the night with orders to fulfill, not problems to dwell upon. Each night you stand at the doorway of your own mind, deciding what shall pass into the depths of your being. This is no small responsibility, for once it passes through, it begins to shape the very structure of your reality. Treat these moments as sacred. Guard them with the seriousness of one guarding a treasure. And remember that in this quiet, unassuming ritual lies one of the greatest powers you will ever possess, the ability to write in the ink of thought the story your life will follow. When you speak to your mind, the tone in which you speak is just as important as the words you choose. The subconscious does not respond to hesitation or uncertainty. It responds to conviction. It is not moved by timid hopes. It is moved by firm declarations. If you wish to impress a truth upon your deeper mind, you must speak as one who already holds the treasure in his hands, not as one standing outside the gate hoping it might open. There is a world of difference between saying, "I hope I will succeed," and saying, "I am a success, and my life is the proof of it." One is a wish tossed into the air. The other is a command sent directly into the foundation of your being. Too often people speak their desires as if they are asking for permission from life, as though they must plead for a chance. This approach does not inspire the mind to action. It leaves it wandering in uncertainty. You must remember that the subconscious is a builder. It needs plans drawn with precision and boldness. If you give it instructions wrapped in doubt, it will return you results of the same nature, partial, hesitant, incomplete. But when you speak with unwavering certainty, you hand your mind a design it can build upon with confidence. This certainty is not arrogance, it is faith in motion. It is the recognition that every great achievement first existed in the invisible realm of thought before it appeared in the visible world. When an architect draws the plans for a magnificent building, he does not say, "I hope this will stand." He draws every line with authority, knowing that the blueprint will guide the work until it is complete. Your words to your subconscious must be drawn with the same clarity and belief. Think of the way a leader addresses a trusted team. A strong leader does not say, "If it's not too much trouble, perhaps we could try to do this." No, they give clear, direct orders, knowing the team will follow through. Your subconscious is that team, ready to execute whatever it is told. If you give it orders wrapped in hesitation, it will hesitate. If you give it orders with boldness, it will respond with action. When you speak to yourself at night, let your voice, whether in your mind or aloud, carry the weight of finality. Say, "This is the life I am living. This is who I am." Do not leave room for the smallest shadow of uncertainty. Imagine that every word is being etched in stone within your mind, and that stone will become the foundation upon which your future rests. In the language of the subconscious, there is no such thing as maybe or one day. There is only now. Whatever you declare is real in this moment becomes the standard your mind begins to manifest. This is why speaking as if something has already happened is so powerful. You bypass the doubts of the conscious mind and speak directly to the creative center of your being. If you say, "I will be successful," your subconscious hears, "I am not successful now," and that becomes the reality it reinforces. But if you say, "I am successful," opportunities flow to me, my life is expanding in abundance and joy, your subconscious accepts that as the truth and goes to work to align your outer world with it. Of course you may think, "But what if I say it and it's not yet true?" Understand this. Every great creation is a lie to the senses before it becomes a truth in the world. The seed does not look like the tree, but it contains the tree's destiny. When you speak your vision as if it is already here, you are planting that seed with confidence, trusting that the unseen process will bring it forth. The more you repeat it with certainty, the faster it takes root. There is a subtle magic that happens when your words carry authority. It is not just your subconscious that listens, your body listens too. Your posture changes, your tone changes, your energy shifts. You begin to move and act in ways that align with the reality you are declaring. Other people can feel this confidence. They respond to it, often without realizing why. Opportunities seem to appear where there were none before, because you have changed the way you approach the world. But this transformation begins in the privacy of your own mind. It begins in those quiet moments when you refuse to speak in the language of if and someday and choose instead the language of I am and I have. Every word becomes a building block of your inner identity. And when your identity changes, your actions follow. And when your actions change, your results change. This is why you must guard against casual, careless self-talk, especially before sleep. The mind will accept your final words as instructions. If you go to bed saying, I'm tired of struggling, nothing ever works out for me, your subconscious takes that as a command to produce more struggle and more failure. But if you say, I am capable, I am rising, I am living in alignment with my highest purpose, you give it the blueprint for a far greater tomorrow. It is not enough to speak beautiful words. You must speak them with the deep conviction of one who knows they cannot fail. Feel the truth of what you say. See it in your mind. Speak it as though you are reporting a fact to the universe, not making a request. Life responds to boldness, and your mind is no different. The more authority you give your words, the more authority your life will take in shaping itself according to them. And so, each night, as you prepare to enter the mysterious world of sleep, remember that you are not merely drifting off. You are handing your mind its orders for the night. Make them clear. Make them powerful. Make them final. Speak as the master of your fate, and your mind will respond as the loyal servant it was created to be. Every day carries with it a mixture of victories and defeats, moments that lift you higher and moments that test your spirit. It is easy, far too easy, to allow the weight of disappointments to follow you into the night, to let them linger in your mind like unwelcome guests. But if you wish to command your life and direct it toward greatness, you must refuse to let the day's setbacks become the seeds of tomorrow's reality. The last moments before you close your eyes must be devoted not to reliving the wounds of the day, but to speaking life, strength, and vision into your soul. The mind is a mirror reflecting whatever you place before it. If you hold up the image of failure, it will return the same reflection with startling precision. But if you choose to hold before it the image of power, abundance, and self-belief, it will reflect that back into your actions, your choices, and the very fabric of your experiences. No one escapes challenges, but those who rise above them are the ones who refuse to allow those challenges to define their state of mind. When the day has been hard, when you have faced loss or frustration, your natural impulse might be to replay it endlessly, analyzing, questioning, regretting. But this habit does not heal you, it imprisons you. Your subconscious mind will take whatever you dwell on and make it the starting point for the next day. If you end your day filled with resentment or defeat, you carry that vibration into the hours when your mind is most impressionable. And by morning, you will find yourself beginning from a place of weakness instead of strength. This is why, no matter what has happened, you must deliberately choose your closing words each night. If you have failed, say to yourself, this failure is not the end of me. It is the foundation for my next success. If you have been rejected, declare, I am being guided toward the right people and the right opportunities. If you have been tested beyond your limits, affirm, I have the strength to overcome all that life places before me. Speak not of what went wrong, but of the unshakable qualities within you that will make things right. Every defeat carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. This is not a comforting idea. It is a truth repeated in the lives of those who have achieved greatness. The human spirit is strengthened in the forge of struggle. But the strength is only forged if you choose to see the setback as a tool, not as a prison. If you end your day reminding yourself of this truth, you awaken with a mind that is ready to seek solutions instead of dwelling on problems. You cannot control every event that enters your life, but you can control the meaning you attach to it. Before you surrender to sleep, strip each disappointment of its sting by turning it into a declaration of growth. Say, this has taught me. This has prepared me. This has sharpened me for what lies ahead. By doing this, you rob failure of its power to weaken you and transform it into a stepping stone toward the future you desire. Your subconscious mind does not argue with you. It accepts what you give it. If you tell it you are defeated, it will work to maintain that state. But if you tell it you are in the process of rising, it will begin to organize your thoughts and actions to match that truth. You must remember your words at night are the script your mind will rehearse in the theater of dreams. And the role you assign yourself, whether victim or victor, will be the one you live out the following day. Even the greatest champions have nights when the world seems to close in on them. But they do not give that darkness the final word. They may acknowledge the pain, but they end their day by declaring their power over it. They understand that what they speak at night is not a reflection of their current circumstances, but a command to shape future circumstances. You must do the same. If your day has been filled with difficulty, you might be tempted to think that your words of strength will feel false. But understand this. Truth is not measured by what is visible now. It is measured by the potential that exists within you. You are not lying to yourself when you say you are strong in the midst of weakness. You are speaking to the deeper reality that is yet to emerge. Your subconscious mind will not care that you are speaking ahead of your circumstances. It will take your words as fact and begin working to make them match the life you see in your imagination. So when you lay your head down at night, speak of your resilience. Speak of your determination. Speak of your ability to rise no matter how many times you fall. Let these be the last impressions your mind receives before it begins its silent work. The challenges of today are nothing more than the raw material from which tomorrow's triumph will be built. If you give your mind the right instructions, it will turn those raw materials into something extraordinary. Life is not shaped by the events themselves, but by the meaning you give them. Each night you have the power to choose that meaning, to declare yourself unbroken, unstoppable, and destined for the fulfillment of your purpose. When you speak with such conviction, you train your mind to meet the morning not with heaviness, but with an eagerness to continue the climb toward your vision. And in time, what once felt like defeat will be remembered only as the moment you decided to rise higher than you ever had before. The mind is a stage, and whatever picture you place upon it before you sleep becomes the main performance your subconscious rehearses through the night. When you choose to fill that stage with the vivid, living image of your success, you are not merely entertaining yourself with pleasant thoughts. You are giving your mind a set of blueprints so detailed and real that it cannot help but work toward them. The human imagination is not a weak, fanciful tool. It is the very workshop where every empire, invention, and achievement first took form. To visualize is to create in the unseen, and what is created in the unseen will, in time, be drawn into the seen. When you lie in the stillness of night, let your vision be more than a fleeting dream. Let it be an experience. Do not simply say, "I want success." Instead, step into the world where that success is already yours. See the surroundings in perfect detail. Hear the sounds that would fill your life in that moment. Feel the emotions that would rise in you as if they are happening now. If your goal is wealth, imagine the texture of the success, the scent of a new space you own, the sound of a pen signing the deal, the weight of the keys in your hand. If your dream is influence, imagine the applause, the grateful voices, the letters from those whose lives you have touched. Give your mind a complete picture so clear and full of life that it cannot tell the difference between this creation and a memory. The subconscious does not work with vague images. It thrives on precision. The sharper your mental picture, the more faithfully it will set in motion the actions, connections, and circumstances that will bring it to life. And so, your task each night is not merely to wish for what you want, but to live it in your mind with such realism that it feels inevitable. The great achievers of history all understood this truth. Before they held the thing in their hands, they held it in their minds. They lived in the reality of their vision until life itself had no choice but to catch up. There is a power in combining emotion with vision. If you simply see the picture but feel nothing, it remains a flat image. But when you let your heart swell with the joy, gratitude, and pride of having achieved it, you send that vision deep into the roots of your subconscious. Emotion is the binding agent that fuses the image to your belief. It is not enough to think success. You must feel it as though you are tasting it in the present moment. This is why children can believe in their dreams so fiercely. They do not separate imagination from reality. They play the role completely. And in that play, their whole being is engaged. You must do the same, but with the conscious power of an adult who knows the process is not fantasy, but creation in motion. Each time you end your day with this living picture of your future, you are feeding your subconscious a diet of pure possibility. While you sleep, it works tirelessly, seeking paths, connections, and solutions that match what you have shown it. Often you will wake with new ideas, sudden clarity, or an inner urge to take steps you hadn't considered before. This is not chance. It is the natural response of a mind that has been given a clear destination. If doubt tries to intrude on your vision, do not fight it with force. Simply replace it by deepening the picture. Add more detail, brighten the colors, make the scene so rich that there is no room for disbelief. Doubt survives only in vague, half-formed thoughts. It cannot survive in the presence of a fully felt reality. And remember, you do not need to know how it will happen. Your only task is to see it, feel it, and believe it is already in motion. The how will unfold in its own time, guided by the creative force you have set in motion. When you practice this nightly, you begin to notice a change not only in your thoughts, but in your actions. You carry yourself differently. You speak with more certainty. You approach opportunities with a readiness that surprises even you. This is because your mind, having rehearsed the role of your future self again and again, begins to play it naturally in waking life. You no longer try to become that person. You simply are that person, and your world begins to match. Visualizing your success is not escapism. It is rehearsal for reality. Just as an athlete runs through the play in his mind before stepping onto the field, you are preparing your mind to perform in life exactly as you have envisioned. And the more faithfully you rehearse, the more effortlessly you will execute when the moment arrives. So each night, as you close your eyes, remember that you are entering the workshop of creation. Fill it with the most vivid, detailed, and joyous images of the life you choose to live. Let those images take root in the soil of your subconscious, watered by the emotions of gratitude and certainty. Sleep knowing that you have given your mind its instructions and that it will work through the night to bring your vision into form. In time, you will awaken not to the dream, but inside it, living what you once could only imagine. Gratitude is more than a polite expression or a pleasant feeling. It is one of the most powerful forces you can release within yourself. When you speak words of thanks at the close of the day, not for what you hope will come, but for what you know is already on its way, you send a signal deep into the subconscious that says, this is real, this is certain, this is mine. And the subconscious, ever faithful to the impressions it receives, begins to arrange your reality in accordance with that certainty. Most people give thanks only when the evidence is visible. They wait until the result is in their hands, until the victory is won, until the door is open. But those who understand the deeper laws of the mind and spirit give thanks before the evidence appears. They understand that gratitude is not a reaction, it is a creative act. It is the invisible proof of faith, the statement to yourself and to life that you trust the process so completely, you celebrate the harvest even while the seed is still beneath the soil. When you lie in bed at night and you let your thoughts drift toward the life you desire, do not speak as if you are asking or waiting. Speak as if the work is done. Say to yourself, I am so grateful for the health that fills my body. I am so grateful for the abundance that flows to me in perfect ways. I am so grateful for the opportunities that unfold before me each day. Even if the current moment does not yet match the picture, you are training your mind to live in the state of having, not the state of lacking. And it is this shift from lack to abundance that changes everything.
Gratitude opens the mind to receive.
When you are thankful, you release resistance. You stop clutching at your desires with anxious fingers and instead hold them with the calm, confident hands of someone who knows they belong to you. This calmness is magnetic. It draws people, situations, and resources toward you in ways that seem almost effortless. While others exhaust themselves chasing what they want, you find it flowing naturally toward you because your state of mind is already aligned with having it. The beauty of gratitude is that it transforms your emotional atmosphere. A mind filled with worry is heavy. It repels the very solutions it seeks. A mind filled with thanks is light. It draws solutions and ideas as naturally as a flower draws the sunlight. Before you sleep, when your mind is most open to suggestion, gratitude is the perfect final note to leave ringing in the subconscious. It sets the tone for the mind's nightly work, guiding it to seek out more reasons for thanks, more evidence of abundance, more proof that your faith is well placed. Some may ask, but how can I be thankful for what I cannot yet see? The answer is simple. Every visible thing begins in the unseen. The fruit appears only after the root has taken hold, and the root is invisible to the eye. Gratitude is your way of watering that root. You may not yet see the branch heavy with fruit, but by giving thanks, you acknowledge that it exists already in potential. In doing so, you speed the process by which it appears in the world. When you close your eyes and say, I am grateful for my success, you are not lying to yourself. You are speaking to the deeper truth that lives beyond present appearances. You are telling your subconscious, this is the reality we are living in. And the subconscious responds by finding ways to make the outer world match the inner declaration. Over time, you will notice that you are guided toward choices, habits, and opportunities that align perfectly with what you have been giving thanks for. Gratitude also protects your mind from the corrosive effects of fear and doubt. It is difficult for worry to take root in a heart that is already full of thanks. The moment you begin to list what you are grateful for, whether it is something you have or something you are creating, you shift the focus from what is missing to what is abundant. This shift is not just emotional, it is energetic. It changes the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, and the way you respond to life. And life, in turn, responds to you differently. As you make this a nightly habit, something remarkable happens. The gap between your gratitude and your reality begins to close. What you were once thankful for in advance begins to appear in tangible form. This is not magic. It is the natural result of aligning your inner state with the outer reality you desire. You become, in thought and feeling, the person who already has what you want. And since the outer world is a reflection of the inner, it eventually must match. So, as the day ends and you prepare to enter the stillness of sleep, let gratitude be your final act. Not the gratitude of one who is waiting, but the gratitude of one who has received. Feel the truth of your words as you say them. Imagine holding in your hands the things you are grateful for, seeing them, using them, living in them. Let that feeling flood your heart until it becomes impossible to tell the difference between the dream and the reality. And then drift into sleep knowing that the mind, fed on gratitude, will work through the night to bring into the light of day the very things you have been celebrating in the quiet of your heart. And so, as you stand at the edge of each day, remember that the final words you speak and the final feelings you embrace before sleep are not mere habits. They are acts of creation. You hold in your mind the power to shape tomorrow before it arrives, to write the script before the scene unfolds. Let your nights be filled with conviction, vivid vision, unwavering strength, and gratitude so deep that it cannot be shaken by circumstance. For when you close your eyes in faith, in certainty, and in thanks, you do more than rest. You set unseen forces into motion. And when you awaken, you will not simply face another day. You will step into the life you have already claimed in the quiet power of your own mind, the new.